I was involved briefly with a married man who believed he had the courage to leave his wife to be with me and to live his truth. This isn't the typical story of a married man promising to leave his wife for a secret lover. Rather, this is a story in part about a gay man who knew he was gay before he got married, but chose to marry a woman because he didn't know how to break free. Rocky and I met on a gay social media site 3 months after I returned to the East Coast to live, and just 11 months after he was married. At the time we met, he was living and working in Dubai as a contractor for the government on a military base, while his wife was stationed in Tallahassee, Florida, where they had a home. In one of the first messages he sent me, Rocky shared that he was married, but that he had regrets. He explained that he had come out to his mother and siblings when he was 18 years old. He sat there.
To listen to more of One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure, a memoir continued, visit audible.com.
Good day, thinkers, thought leaders, progressors, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart.
And I'm Derek J. And we are here on our last conversation. Jeez, I want to put a shirt on so my bosom pop out. I'm sorry.
I see.
We are here on our last conversation, Craig. We have been doing this since May.
May 6th, to be exact.
May 6th was our first conversation. And who would have thought that it would take us all the way to December?
Yeah.
And I don't know. We've had many conversations, good, bad, heated, happy, all those good things. And I feel like we have put our mark on conversations. We were able to add our 2 cents, and we were able to help other people out in the process, which I am grateful for.
Did you want to go ahead and explain the new Cash App?
So yes, guys. So y'all do see the new Cash App. So the new Cash App is because what we said before in our other videos is that we will be doing a donation for Christmas. We're going to be paying off some layaways for some needy families, and we need you guys' help. So just like we did with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we're doing for Christmas. Whatever you guys donate to us, we will match. So, yeah. So whatever y'all donate to this Cash App, because like I said, Craig be funny with the money, so we got to make sure.
No, don't do that.
But no, Craig is not funny with the money. Craig did do what he was supposed to do. But so we decided to make one Cash App instead of trying to figure it out. So we just did one Cash App so we can give back for this Christmas holiday.
Yeah, this Christmas season. Now that doesn't mean that you can't Cash App me over at the Writer. If you want to have something special,
Craig, we're not doing that tonight. Craig, it ain't about you. It's about the people tonight.
Okay.
I'm sure you was on your live earlier when people was Cash Apping the Writer. So,
well, I just wanted to, just make it plain, just in case the people still wanted to Cash App me. They could.
I get it, but tonight
it goes here to GLM Congo. We're going to use that money. There is no deadline. Somebody just asked, "What's the deadline?"
There's no deadline. So we're going to be So we want to do this all month. So we will be. So whenever Craig decides to change his name on his thing, and I will be posting on my social medias and my social media platforms, and hopefully it'll come in. And yeah.
So what we're gonna do is, like Derek said, we're gonna pay off some layaways, but there's also a nonprofit organization from my hometown. And Derek, if there's one from your hometown that you want to support, we can do that too.
So the more money you give, the more money we have to give, and the more money we'll be donating. So this is all. It's about the people.
Right. So the nonprofit organization that's in Baltimore, it's called the Catherine Family and Children Services is what it's called. And what they do is they do school supplies for kids. They do backpacks with all school supplies in the backpacks, but then they also feed people for Thanksgiving. I posted it on my Insta story. They feed people for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so they do all kinds of things. They do a summer camp for the kids. So if anything that you donate through to these Cash Apps, to this Cash App, we're going to use that to pay off layaways and to support this particular charity.
And I like that idea that P. Marcel just said. We should do a review of all our conversations.
I think so too. I think that's a good idea. Now we just have to.
We'll be back one more time.
Huh?
So we'll be back one more time then.
Well, what I was gonna say was what we could do is maybe do it the week before we're supposed to return in February or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, you can do that too.
So we can still take our break and then we can just, maybe do it the week before we come back.
Okay, we talking about work now. We got
all right. All right, but this conversation tonight is for all of the LGBTQ, whether you're lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, whatever, however you identify, other than heterosexual, because these conversations are for LGBTQ people. Now, some of the heteros, you did try to slide in our email box and say, well, I'm not really gay. But I was wondering if I could participate because I'm over 30 and I wanted to know. No, this is not. Y'all had Phil Donahue, y'all had Oprah, y'all had Montel Williams, y'all even have Ricky Lake. The LGBTQ, they have me and Derek. They have me and Derek.
That's what we got. That's what we here. We represent it all.
Right.
So we're talking about dating, being single and over 30. So Craig, you got into a relationship this year, right?
Right. So it's only been 6 months. We've only been together for 6 months.
So before you, so my God, so we've been doing our thing longer than your relationship.
Well, the relationship started the same month that we started doing these.
So before then, how long were you single?
9 years. 9 years. And that's what I wanted to say, because I don't want people to think that because I'm in this relationship now that I'm so out of touch that I don't remember and I don't know. Because trust, believe, and know, I remember I was single for 9 years. And several of those years, I was decidedly single. Mm-hmm. Because for the first portion of my singleness, I was trying to reconcile what had happened in my previous relationship. Derek, you and I actually kind of connected and met through that last relationship. Mm-hmm. But I was trying to heal from that. And I wanted to be clear about what I wanted moving forward in the next relationship. Because I believe that every relationship is an opportunity to be better, mm-hmm. and to choose better and to love better. Mm-hmm. And so for me, those first 2 years were about me healing and learning and growing. But then my career started. I was really focused on like the books and doing all of that. So I just didn't have the time to foster a relationship. But then the last few years, when mm-hmm. I was ready, I realized that it was almost like the quantity of Black gay men were there, but the quality mm-hmm. wasn't. So it was mm-hmm. almost like what I was looking for was missing. And, mm-hmm. and what I realized, here's what I realized. I realized in my singleness and in my frustration that came with dating was that, Craig, this is what karmic energy is about. You know, like karma. Mm-hmm. Karmic energy is about you get back what you've put out. And I mm-hmm. realized that I had been someone's disappointment too. Mm-hmm. So like, as I was dating people and getting frustrated with people not being consistent, with people ghosting or people not trying to look as interested as they were, because nobody wants to look too interested because everybody's afraid of being called thirsty. Mm-hmm. But for me, the only way to effort is the only way to communicate to me that you're interested. And if mm-hmm. you're not putting forth effort, then I don't think that you're interested. Mm-hmm. And so you got these folk that they just want to call once a week or, they don't want to look too interested. And so for me, that just didn't work for me. But I realized that I had been someone's disappointment because there were times that I met people and was dating people and they were more interested in me than I was in them, but I didn't communicate that. So the frustration and the stuff that I was experiencing when I was dating, it was nothing but that shit coming back to me. The mm-hmm. shit you put out, it has to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
So for me, I never really dated because my career was my boyfriend for mm-hmm. most of my life. And then when I jumped into the dating pool, it was a little difficult. And you deal with a lot, which is a whole nother conversation, but you deal with a lot of grown little boys, and Yeah, you already know, Craig. So you deal with that kind of, you deal with that situation, which I'm like, I ain't got time to be trying to take care of nobody or try to be babying nobody or try to teach them the right things to do, which is really not that difficult.
Right.
But those are things that I kind of ran myself into. And as far as also being on television, people just assume that I'm a certain type of person, I'm a certain type of way. They also assume that I was a sugar mama, that I'm gonna be taking care of people. And you know, and then what people and let me just explain. I mean, I gotta explain myself, but it looks more than what it is.
Right.
If I get booked on a job to go somewhere, I get 2 tickets. So if I take somebody with me, I didn't pay for your ticket, they did. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but to the visual eye, it's like, oh my God, you know, you go get with Derek because he flying people out. No, Vic, right. you was at work with me. That's how that went. I was going to work. You just don't have to come along with me. It was just
right.
that. So it's just been hard for me trying to find true, genuine people in this. And then I'm very much with you. I need to be like slapped in my face for you to know what's going on. You got to tell me what's happening. I'm not good with hints. I'm not good with beating around the bush. I'm not good with none of that kind of stuff. I need you to be like, hey, I'm trying to talk to you. That's what's going on. Mm-hmm. I don't got to be playing those type of games, you know. So, but that's my space in dating over 30 because I'm over 30 now.
And, you know, but here's the thing too, Derek. I just felt like, because I'm gonna tell you, if and I'm just gonna be completely transparent. If I was attracted to white men, I would have seriously considered dating outside of my race. But I love everything there is about being Black.
Me too. I'm not.
Yeah. So that was a challenge for me, you know, and I just felt like I would have been opening up the pool, the dating pool, mm-hmm. if I was more open to dating outside of my race. But I just wasn't there. But I know that there are systemic things, you know, that Black men, Black gay men in particular, deal with, that we carry with us into this community, that we bring with us into this community, and we bring those things into our relationships. Mm-hmm. It's the Black church, the Black family, the Black community, and all of just being a Black person in America. Like, I understand we bring all of those traumas, and so it really makes it difficult to be in a relationship with another Black man. Especially if that Black man has not done the work on himself that you've done on yourself. And then that became a problem for me as well, because after being single for 9 years, I really felt like I had done a lot of introspection. Mm-hmm. And there were a lot of things that I had overcome. There's still things that I overcome now, because even now being in a relationship, there are things that surface that I didn't even realize were there, but they came up because I'm in a relationship. There are certain things that are going to come up because you're in a relationship with somebody. So there are things that I'm still working on and fixing. But when I was single, it felt like I was running into so many broken Black gay men, and I was frustrated. Mm-hmm. So we've assembled this panel because we want to hear from you guys. We just kind of framed the conversation, but we want to hear from you guys. Like and I want to start by asking each of you. So think of this. Why do you think you're single? What is it? What are the reasons that you think or believe that you're single? And we're going to start with Tennis Lover.
Hi. I definitely feel like, for myself personally, I feel like I've had to do that self-work that Craig was just talking about. I've been single for about 6 years. So I didn't realize that you were single for 9 years, Craig. That's like, I'm like 3 more years. I can't do it, Jesus. But I think I had to do a lot of self-work. But I think for me, it's been an issue with like lack of communication, people getting bored quickly. Because I hear a lot of people say that, like, oh, I get bored quickly. So it's like nobody wants to put the time and work in. At least the people that I interact with, I would say. So that's been like my main issue. So right now I'm trying to find like the guy that will hang in there with me and work with me so that we'll go together.
Now, my question for you, do you want me to call you Tennis Lover?
I mean, my name's Joaquin. I just put Tennis Lover because that's my handle. So, but my name's Joaquin.
You want to hear that part, Craig.
My apology. So, Joaquin,
It's okay.
so what city are you in first?
I am from the DMV, baby, like you. I'm in Maryland, but I'm from DC.
Okay. And the reason I ask that is because one of the things that I hear a lot, even before I was in a relationship, I heard a lot of people saying, well, you know, it's so hard to date in Atlanta. Atlanta is just, you know, guys in Atlanta, this, da, da, da. But I'm from the DMV, and so I've heard that up there too. I lived in LA.
It's really everywhere.
Right. And I lived in LA, and I used to hear people in LA say, oh, but guys in LA. So it's almost like people think that the challenges that they face are specific to their region or their geography. And I've been saying to people all along, it's not the geography, it's community wide. This is the work that we have to do within the community. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I got to a place where I felt like if I did that difficult, emotional, internal work of overcoming what it means to be a Black gay person and, you know, all the stuff, why can't I find a guy who's also done that work on himself? And so I just got
I think a lot of people don't take the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, because it's hard work, like you were saying before. So I think a lot of people, they don't want to invest the time to do that. Because once you start looking within, you really have to think like, gosh, like my shit ain't as clean as I thought it was. You know what I mean? So it's not together.
I would say this is that a lot of people don't want to do the work because one, people don't know what the work is. That's the one thing. Like you have to first recognize that, hey, you are not the victim. Hey, you're not, you know, everybody's not beating up on you. You know, some of the stuff you bring upon yourself. And a lot of people don't understand that part of it. And then secondly, I do feel that it is, especially with two men together, and I can speak for being in Atlanta. It is a lot of just fine ass men in Atlanta. And yes, you do get into the what if I'm stuck in this, what if somebody else want to come along that I want. So you do get to that syndrome of wanting it all, wanting your cake and eating it too.
Child, yes.
My question to you, I know you said that it's 6 years in, but are you ready to be in a relationship? Or are you ready to date?
Yes, I'm ready to date. I'm
Okay.
finally ready to date.
But you're not ready for a relationship yet.
I'm willing to work toward that. I'm dating with the intention of being in a relationship. So I want to seriously date someone.
Because I was gonna say, if you know, for me, and I'm not saying that, you know, anybody has to follow how I do, but I just felt like because there were periods where I would date when I was single, because I was, you know, interested in building and graduating into something else. But then there were periods that I took myself off the market because I knew for me the end goal was not a relationship. I wasn't looking for that. And I think the problem with a lot of us, we start dating and we don't really communicate that, oh, I'm just out here trying to hang out and just have a good time or just having something to do. This is just for social. And the other person is dating with the auspice, you know, under the impression of it ending up as something. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Hey, how old are you?
34.
34. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now you said something in the very first thing that you said was, you know, one of the challenges that you found is that there are people who kind of give up. And I'm loosely paraphrasing what you said, which is something they don't stick around and they don't really hang in there with you and try to work through things. Are you that kind of person? Or are you one to work wrong?
I believe I've been that person before. I definitely believe I've been that person because I think there's so many options. And then with the apps and everything that you have at your fingertips now, all these resources, it's so easy to just treat people like they're disposable. Like, oh, you did something I don't like or something that I don't really agree with. So I know I got 3 dudes down on this block on Jack that I could go and try to see what they're about. So I'm going to chuck the deuces to you.
Now, have you been in a relationship before?
Yes.
And how long was that?
Oh God, my longest relationship has been 8 months, so not a long one. Not a long one.
You've been dating.
So you were dating.
You just been dating.
Yeah. I have never been in a long-term relationship.
So you just been. So
And
you've been
that's
doing a
what
lot of
I,
long-term dating.
yeah, dating, and then like just primarily being by myself because it's
Gotcha.
just it's a lot. It's a lot out here that I just don't feel like dealing with.
But you know what I think? I honestly think, and I don't think that this is specific to the community. I really do think that we're at a space and time where most people, regardless of sexuality, most people are so afraid of being emotionally vulnerable, emotionally open,
Oh,
because
absolutely.
we've all heard stories. Oh, did you hear what happened with Derek J? He was dating this guy and he moved him in, and you know the guy he came home and the guy had some.
How can I move with him?
Well, I'm just giving you an example. I give you,
You that story that I'm taking care of these people.
no. I'm just giving an example. My point is, we've all heard stories of someone getting taken advantage of or somebody being hurt emotionally or whatever, and no one wants to be the next story. And so it's like we go into these situationships or these relationships, if you will, barely breathing. We're taking these quick breaths because we really don't want to. We don't really just want to inhale the relationship and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And like for me, before I got with Carlton, my thing was before I even knew him, my thing was whoever I get into the relationship with, I'm going to love them with every part of my being, because I want to give my absolute best. I don't want to come in half stepping and half scared because of previous relationships or previous trauma. Like, don't come to me half stepping. You need to come to me with your guns blazing. I need you to be ready to love me with all you got, or don't come at all. That's just me.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, Craig, that's interesting, Craig.
Joaquin, we're gonna drop you down. I want you to listen to the rest of the conversation because we're gonna bring you back up for a roundabout of the conversation. Okay?
Yep, I'll be here.
All right.
And so, and I see some of you guys have been mentioned. I want you guys that's in the comments. Let us know how long your longest relationship was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah. Well, no. First, have y'all been in a relationship? And if it's a yes, how long was your relationship?
And the third thing is, what city are you in right now? Because
what city are you in right now?
Okay.
And who you want to bring up next, Craig?
Bring up Torrance.
Are you making me work?
Hello, Torrance.
Hey, can you hear me?
We
yes,
can.
How are you?
Hey, Craig. Hey, Derek J.
How are you?
Oh, so first of all, tell us how old you are, too.
I'm 45.
Okay, 45. What city?
Yeah, I'm 45, and I currently live in DC. So I'm in the DMV area.
Okay.
So, and they are dragging your head in these comments, Craig, but I like it.
I see the style.
I love it. No, I mean, it's an interesting conversation, especially when you're a Black gay man in the space. I think the question that you asked was like, you know, do you know why you're single? I think it's a $1 million question that a lot of people get asked when you're in this space. For me particularly, it's a combination of choice and circumstance. So I've been single for I think 12 years now, since my last relationship. And I say choice and circumstance because the choice piece was I had spent so much time focusing on my career because I wanted to ascend in my career.
Mm-hmm.
This is not to say I didn't date. I just didn't get into any long-term committed relationships because I'd moved to different cities, and knowing what I wanted to do professionally, I didn't want to be pinned down in that way, right? And the circumstance piece, I think it goes back to some of the stuff that you were saying, Craig. For me, it was really, okay, if I have aspirations to ascend in my career in the way that I want to, it's not that I'm looking for somebody to match where I am professionally. It is me wanting to be with somebody who's doing the same thing I've been doing, being introspective and figuring out how to unpack my own shit. And understand how I'm showing up and how I come off, right? And doing that constant work in order for me to be able to partner with somebody who's doing the same thing. And there are a lot of guys who are not doing that. For me, you know, some of the guys that I've met, who I thought, you know, were in that same space. It was just, you know, the circumstance didn't allow for us to connect on that level long term. So, you know, unfortunately, it's just one of those things. But then I think over the years, the other piece too is we didn't grow up, right, Craig, in that we came out, or we were growing up when all the Facebook, the Instagram, all that stuff wasn't really here. So dating was very different back in the 90s. So me personally, I've had to evolve, and I feel like I've had a little bit of trouble evolving in this new dating space because social media has truly dominated and taken to the forefront what dating looks like, feels like, and what it means. So I've had to recalibrate in a lot of spaces, and I'm still learning how to, you know, I'm kind of socially awkward, but I'm still learning how to date, I guess, in 2020. And it's like, that shit is crazy. I'm very intentional, to wrap up, you know, what I'm saying, but I'm very intentional when it comes to dating and even other stuff, because I'm 45, I got needs, so I'm still fucking. So, I mean, I'm just not going to be in a state, you know, I'm just sitting myself on a shelf collecting dust. But I'm very intentional when I come into those situations and say, okay, well, if we're connecting, are we connecting because there's some intention to honestly date, or are we just fucking? I'm fine with both, but I want to be able to put this in a box so I know how to engage you, because I don't want to, I'm at a point in life where I'm not going to take myself down a path and make an emotional investment knowing that you're not on the same page, because that's okay. I just want to reserve that space and honor that space for somebody who is on the same page and open to the notion of taking this beyond dating, right? So we could graduate to something else.
Well, let me ask you this, because you want to say something, Derek? What?
Well, so with you, what you just said, Torrance, how do people react to that type of upfrontness? Because a lot of people say that that's what they want, but people really don't. They don't really understand it, and when you come at them that upfront, they think that you're being rude or you're trying to, like. So how do people, when you want to be clear about what's happening, how do people take that from you?
You know, that's a good question. I can't say that I've taken a poll of, you know, what the response has been on that end. I think there have been a couple of times where, for the most part, people are appreciative, right? They'll say, "Oh, thanks for your honesty," you know, and then 9 times out of 10, we just end up fucking, and that's it.
And my question to you is, and this is just to play devil's advocate. So, like, when I was single, I was very clear about energy. Energy with anything, whether it's my business, whether it's this work that Derek and I are doing. I'm very focused on energy and how I direct my energy and use my energy. Do you think that if you have all of these, and I don't know how many people you fucking, I don't know, but do you think that if you have even one person that's just around just to fuck, you think that he's blocking the energy of that relationship that could be trying to come in? Because and I ask that because for me, when I knew I was really clear about wanting to be with somebody, I had to remove all of the subterfuge.
Right.
I had to move all of that out of the way.
Yeah, and for clarity, and I'm on live TV or whatever, I don't want to come off as me being some town whore. That is not the case.
Right.
Let me re-clarify. You know, when I say, yes, I'm fucking, I'm not sitting here saying, oh, the shop is open 24/7. No, that's not the case. I'm just saying when I go into certain situations one-on-one, if there's an opportunity for us to potentially date long-term or date in general seriously, or other, or not, right? That not typically turns into that piece. So to answer your question, Craig, yeah, I'm conscientious about that energy piece. But it's one of those situations where I'm always very thoughtful about how I manage that. So if I'm dealing with somebody and I know that we're not dating long-term or it's nothing serious, then I make sure there is communication on both ends so that we both understand where each other is, right? So if I know that I'm looking for something a bit more serious and he's not, then it's understood that, we're just hanging out. So if I come into a situation where I date somebody else and I'm like, wow, I'm really feeling this guy, I'm going to have to let this phase out because, to your point, I want to make the space fertile enough, for
Right. So,
to be open enough for me and not be distracted.
So then my follow-up question for you, and then for all of you guys that are listening, how do you break that cycle? Because I think what happens is a lot of guys get caught up in a cycle of pieces, dates, you know what I'm saying? Your little hookup buddies and shit like that. How do you make room? How do you get out of that cycle, and how do you make room? Because I think part of the problem with these apps, and I'm not a person that believes that there's something wrong with the app in terms of meeting someone and finding a partner. I used to think that it was trash, but I do believe that Grindr, the Jacks, and whatever else that's out there, I believe that they can be viable ways of meeting people. We have chosen to reduce them to just sex, but they can be amazing tools for networking. They could be amazing tools for dating. But we have chosen to reduce them to just sex. So my question again to you and everybody's listening, how do you break that cycle and get off that merry-go-round, that same cycle that you stay on where you fucking this person for a couple months and you got another little fuck buddy? How do you make room for an actual partner?
I think it really boils down to you as a person. You have to understand where you are in your own personal life, how you show up. And the more important piece is you have to ask yourself, are you in a cycle, right? Because where you are in your life, Craig, is going to be different than where I am, right? Same for you, Derek J. If you're in a space where you're grounded and rooted in what you want moving forward, then you're going to be in that space and you will make decisions based on where you are. So I don't necessarily see myself in this cycle or this rut per se. I understand externally what is going on, in the environment that I live in today, but it could be different 6 months from now. My only responsibility to Torrance is that I keep myself open and not get mired in or lost in all the gray and the quote unquote cycle of all the other stuff that would keep me in a space where I'm not open to that potential person, right? Or my person, if you will. And the thing that I've learned, and I'll wrap this up, is your concept of partnership and dating and relationships, it changes and it evolves. So, when I was in my 20s and 30s, I was all like, oh my God, I want to get married. It's like, yeah, I still want that, but I'm not as aggressively going after it as much as I used to. I've evolved to a place where I know myself. I'm very comfortable in my own skin, and that will continue to happen. So the person who I want to be in my space, I want them to be the same way. Now, do we ultimately have to go down the aisle and do whatever? Do I want to be committed to that one person? I don't know. I'm more open, to what the notion of partnership looks like for me. Whereas 10 years ago, I wasn't. I was a little bit more hard, a little bit more strict in my methodology.
And, there's something that you said that just now and earlier, where you said you were so focused on your career. And I can relate to that because there was a period where I wasn't even interested in a relationship. I was so driven. My question to you and everybody listening, what is it that, is echo from your end, Derek? I hear myself with echo.
Let me see. I don't think it's me.
I don't think I hear it now. Yeah, it's gone now. But what I was going to say was, I was so driven for my career, and you sound like you're driven for your career. Why do we sometimes make it seem as if we can't do both? We do both simultaneously. Be driven in our career and in love. Because I just believe that love doesn't wait for us to organize our lives. And what I've noticed a trend in our community, it's almost like Black gay men don't really start to consider a relationship seriously until they're at the winter of their life, well into their 50s. They're HIV positive, or they have lost their bodies, they look older or whatever. You know, then you're ready to start a relationship.
So I just actually had that conversation with somebody, but we're talking about money. But it falls into this category also. And it falls into the fact that as Black people in general, we either have an all or nothing mentality. We don't know how to really balance two things. It's like, okay, if I'm gonna go for my career, that's what I'm going for. I ain't got time for anything else. Or if you know a lot of people that do take the relationship route, that's the route they take. They just like, I'm in a relationship. I don't have time for anything else. This is what I have time for. So that we really just have an all or nothing mentality when it comes down to things, because we really don't know how to balance two things that we want in our life.
And I think you can have both if you choose to.
Well, that's true, but we don't know how to choose to.
Right. Well, as men, I think we are wired by society and Western civilization to be naturally competitive. So I think for us, when we're at certain points in life, when you are focused on your career, that's what you're hyper focused on, right? You're going after that. This doesn't mean that you're not dating seriously or you're not entertaining a relationship. It just means that you have chosen at that particular time of your life to choose to focus on a priority, which might not be that other person. Does it make you a bad person? No. But it's just where you are at that point in your life. So I think when you evolve to the extent where you have gotten to a certain point in your career and you've learned individually how to manage those things as an adult, you know how to manage your relationships in the realm of your job, work, life, family, etc. And you have to evolve to get to that place.
I agree with all of that, but I also think that sometimes we allow ego to overtake us. Men are very proud. Black men are even more proud. And again, I said this at the top of the conversation, and I write about this in Book of Jewels. Relationships are the place that we go to learn and grow. And if you're not interested in learning or growing, then a relationship is not where you need to be. And a lot of times Black men don't want, you have to be teachable. If you're going into a relationship, you need to be teachable. You can't get all in your feelings if I explain to you that there's a better way for you to do something, or if I correct some behavior that you've done because you've done something that made me feel a way or made someone else feel a way. That's what your partner is there to do, to mirror and show you your flaws. But a lot of times Black men, and I'm speaking about Black men because these are conversations about Black people, can't handle that. And the last thing that I'll say, and then we're going to move on to somebody else because I know we have other people watching. With respect to Black men, I don't care about your sexuality, whether you're bisexual, gay, whatever. When it comes to Black men, most of us are raised in single parent households. Most of us are raised by single women, either a grandmother, a mother. Derek and I are the exception to that. We were raised in a 2-parent household during our formative years. But a lot of Black men, straight, gay, whatever, were raised in a single parent household. And they don't even have a demonstration of what it looks like to see a long-term relationship. So most of us don't even know what the fuck we're looking for. We don't even have the tools to even secure a long-term relationship because we've never seen it.
So Torrance,
I would agree with that. And last comment before you drop me down is, to that point, Craig, I definitely had to get to a place through therapy where I had to understand how to give and receive love.
All right, well, thanks, Torrance.
Well, we're going to drop you down, but we're going to bring you back up at the end, though, okay? It wasn't me, sweetie. It was Torrance's thing. That's why you were trying to get me together.
Well, no, I couldn't tell what it was.
We've been doing this long enough. I know how to get my audio right. Okay, who are we going next? We have Ali. We have Willie.
Let's bring up what's that? Trav Dwayne.
Well, he finally. We gotta make sure we didn't get to check him. He finally got it right. So yeah, wow. We'll brought him.
How y'all doing?
Oh, you in here now?
Oh yeah.
So how old are you?
I'm 34.
Where are you from?
Charlotte.
Is that where you live currently?
Yes, currently.
And why do you think you're single? Honestly, I think I built a wall up, to be perfectly honestly.
Okay, so I actually was in my first relationship at age 20, and he was 15 years my junior. So he was 35 at the time. So,
He was 15 years.
He was
You
your
were
senior.
20. He was 15
Yeah.
years your senior.
right.
When he
Okay.
15 years
Thank
old, he was 5. And that's
Dude, Mike, I remember when he was 5.
Okay. All right. So yeah, he was 15 years older than me. I'll just say it like that.
Okay.
But I actually went into it with the I guess the perception of what I saw growing up. A lot of my family members are, married, have husbands and kids, and so I wanted to model my relationship after what I saw everybody else do and go through. So when I found out that my relationship wasn't like a marriage, I think that's when it went downhill for me. And it was 4 years in. So that kind of disappointed me at the fact that, I've grown up seeing, the women in my family, do great things and then get husbands. And I wanted to do that same thing. But unfortunately, I guess that's just not the way it was.
But you wanted to get, you was getting, wait, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Mhm.
You was dating, you gay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm like, what? So, I was getting confused for a second. I'm like, wait a minute. Now.
Okay.
But the thing, what I will say is that I would say is for black gay men. That is one of the biggest problems in our relationship is that we try to mirror a heterosexual relationship, but we're not a heterosexual couple.
That's
So
true.
we can't do the things that men and women do because it's not men and women being together. So that's how I'm getting confused. Would you try to marry a woman? What's going on?
Oh no.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't interrupt you, but I was just
no, you fine. You fine. So, going through that and fast forwarding to now, I think that experience I'm still actually trying to get over, so to speak. So I'm not really, trying to date. I really haven't dated outside of my relationship. So
Wait. You're dating outside of your relationship or outside of your race?
my relationship. So that means after after we parted ways in 2016.
you haven't dated anything.
No, right.
So the 4 years for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so go ahead, Craig.
No, I was just going to ask, what do you think it's going to take to overcome that? Because do you want to love somebody again? Do you want to be in a relationship?
Yes, I feel like I am husband material.
So what do you think is going to take to overcome whatever that block is?
Getting out of my own head, letting the past go, seeing people for who they are, and seeing people, well, I'm not going to say people, but men in a different light, I would say.
So what was so about that relationship that you're afraid?
Well, Dante said something in the last panel, and he said that many men in general look for, young guys because they're green and naive. And so they want to have that as an option. And so it was to a point to where I got a certain age and I just felt like it no longer worked for me.
What do you mean?
I started getting comfortable. Well, I was really getting comfortable and, I had gained weight and it was just to a point to where he was like, well, no. So I think that's what it was.
Honestly, if somebody's 15 years your senior, they're really, because you said you were 20 at the time, and so he was 35. Well, that's not really that bad. But when it's like, it's still 15 years. But for the most part, they like the 20-year-old you for a reason. And and the thing is, and not to be rude or anything, but if I'm gonna be dating somebody 20 years old, your job is to stay fine. That's what your job is. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, and you being honest.
Yeah.
I didn't have that concept. I was just so happy to be in a relationship, and I was like, well, this is really gonna be my last one. And
if you're gonna be in a relationship,
I was like, oh no.
Yeah, if you want this relationship to work, honey, you gotta still do your part, and your part is stay fine. And you went in there and got comfortable, honey. He was like, "Oh shit! Well, this ain't what I signed up for. I signed up for a 25-year-old tenderoni, 24.
Right.
Wait, so how long was y'all together?
10 years.
Oh yeah, so you went from 20 to 30. That was a whole 10-year thing, child.
Yeah.
Now that you're 30, he's 45. You don't know tenderoni no more.
Right.
Well, you still never really answered my question. Like I'm
sorry.
No. I'm not like lashing at you. I'm just trying to kind of excavate. My question is, what happened in that relationship that scarred you, that's made you so afraid that you haven't even considered a relationship? Because I'm sure over the past 4 years, you've met somebody that you kind of like or saw that you were interested in. So like, what is it that is, what do you have to overcome? Was it an abusive relationship?
No, it was not abusive. I think it was more so infidelity. And I think it had to do with my upbringing. So I guess I had presented myself to be somebody that wanted to be taken care of. And that was not my intentions. So I think that kind of, with some other things, I think that kind of was the head that started to
listen to your story and listen to what your relationship is. I'm not no expert, but I dealt with a lot of people in these situations. But listen to it is that you went into this with a different expectation.
Exactly.
And the thing is that the expectation wasn't what it was. Right. So instead of you understanding like, hey, I went into this wrong. This was not what I thought it was going to be. I need to do my part better. Because basically you saw it. I mean, you saw what was really going on. You just chose to look at it because this was the space you wanted to be in. You know, so the thing is that now you've got to let that shit go. But now you gotta take people for what they are. I'm a very true like that. I get myself in a situation, whether it's friendships, dating, any of those things. When I know I see it and I know the shit ain't right. And I know this ain't what it's supposed to be. But it's like, oh, you know what? I can make this work. You know what? Maybe it ain't gonna do that to me, or maybe it ain't gonna happen to me in this space. But when it does happen, I can't beat myself up about it. And I also can't, and you can't hate everybody in the space of it, of saying, everybody's gonna do me this way. Well, that's not the case. You knew it's fucked up when you did it. But
even beyond that, you deserve love. Yeah. And someone else deserves to be loved by you. That's right. So you should never allow a previous experience or a previous relationship to rob you.
That's right.
Opportunity to love. Because I really do believe that, as people, we're introspective. Like we're interdependent is the word. We're meant to love each other and to be around each other. Some people say that they just need friendships. And no, I don't need friendships. I need to be touched and kissed and held. And you understand what I'm saying? I need companionship on a level other than my friendships. But somebody point up here earlier.
Wait, while you finding your point, let me address this point.
Go ahead.
And my thing is this: there is nothing. I mean, and not say that you wasn't a mature 20-year-old, but there's nothing a 35-year-old man has in common with a 20-year-old boy. I mean, 20-year-old man. It's just
I've heard that.
There's nothing in common with. There's nothing. You haven't lived life enough to even have these kind of conversations. Even the same. I feel the same way about a 50-year-old man dating a 30-year-old guy or a 35-year-old guy. We don't have the same life experiences. So what is there other than? Now there are those rare. Don't get me wrong. There are those occasions where you meet somebody that young and y'all fall in love, whatever the case may be. But speaking just in general, when you have that type of age difference, what y'all really got in common, child? Like really. Like you just got out of high school at 20 years old. This man 35 years old. What are y'all like? What is there really there? You know what I'm saying? When you 50 years old, you're headed towards retirement, and I'm just not trying to figure out my career out. What are we really talking about? Like, let's just be honest here. It ain't about being shallow. It's just about. I don't think I'm not talking about Craig. Craig, they ain't got no 15-year age gap.
Shaquille, you about to get blocked while you that's what you about to do. But here's what I was gonna say though. I think what happens is, and I think the approach, the wrong approach that a lot of people make, is they go into the relationship either hoping that that person is going to be able to help them with their bills, or I have somebody that I can go to the movies with, or go out to eat with, or somebody I can spend the night with, or consistent sex partner. Or you go into the relationship thinking you're going to fix them. Instead of going into the relationship trying to figure out what is it that you're supposed to learn about yourself. Because for every single thing that you can learn about someone else, there are 3 things that you can learn about yourself.
That's true.
But most times we go into a relationship trying to change a person. And here's the reality. I think for me, it's about trying to partner with someone whose views on relationships are similar to yours. They don't have to be completely identical, but they need to be similar. Because otherwise, if I believe in open relationships and you're a monogamous person, and here we are getting into a relationship, we're going to be playing this tug of war.
Exactly.
I'm trying to pull you this way, and you can be trying to pull me this way. We don't have the same vision for the direction that the relationship should go in. And I don't think that we spend enough time talking about that when we get because we get focused on, oh, he got a big ass, oh, he got a big dick, oh, he's nice looking, oh, he drives this, he drives that. Fuck all that stuff. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, and what's your credit score? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's something I need to know that we can build, because you don't really know the strength of your relationship until you start talking about, well, Torrance, you know, we've been together now for 6 months. You know, I see us moving together. Like, what is it that you make a year? Here's what I make a year. But see, here's that ego and pride that I talked about a few moments ago. We don't always talk about how much we make. How can we partner and build a life together if I don't know how much you make? And you don't want me to know because you're afraid or you're embarrassed about what you make. So if we're really going to start having these conversations about partnership, we really got to get past, oh, we have so many things in common. Fuck those things in common. What's your life vision?
Yeah.
So, Trav, we're going to drop you down because we got a couple more people here. But stay with us because we're going to bring you back up and ask you one last question. Okay. Thank you.
Going over to my friend Ali. He waiting patiently.
Well, Willie and Ali waiting patiently. We gonna be right with you, Willie.
Waiting patiently like a saint, huh?
Hey, Ali, how are you? Oh, child, he got one of them.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, Uncle Fred.
I appreciate that.
So, Ali, how old are you?
38.
Okay, and where do you reside?
Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, okay. You from, you know, I'm right. I'm from Toledo, suburb of Detroit, so we right next to each other. Midwest. And now, how long have you been single, or are you single?
I'm currently single right now.
And how long has that been?
I would say like 9-10 years.
Okay. And then for Craig's question, why do you think that you're single and have been single for so long?
Well, I've been single because, you know, like a lot of previous, I was in a relationship with someone at the age of 18. And the guy who I was in a relationship with was like 10 years to my senior. And the guy was a pastor. And it was, my similar situation is very similar to Craig. He was married. And we were together secretly for quite, like, I'll say like, till I was like 26. And he was about to break up with his girlfriend, his wife. But he came to tell me that, you know what, I pregnant her, we can't pursue on to this relationship. So it kind of like scarred me quite some time. And so during that time, I was, dating, having this promiscuous behavior. I was dating this or talking to this, meeting guys on Jack's or Adam for Adam because I was hurt. And so that's why I'm single. But now what I'm doing now is working on myself, listening to y'all, reading books, and just focus on loving myself. And I think that before I got into that relationship at the age of 18, I had like a very I had like a troubled childhood growing up. I was abused as a child. So that had to a lot of pain that I have avoided.
So you were so you started a relationship when you were 16. You got out of the relationship at 26. Now you're 38. So 16 to 26 is 10 years. And you're 12 years out of the relationship. What did you say?
I was 18.
Oh, 18. I'm sorry. All right, 18 to 20. I'm sorry. I was like 16. I was like, ooh. Okay, so 18.
Right.
So what's 18 plus what's an 8-year relationship?
8 years, yeah.
That y'all were together. So now you're 12 years in. So how do you think that you have recovered yet from the 8 years that you went through, or are you still working through that?
Both. I'm learning to forgive myself as well as him. I'm learning to see what parts by looking at the parts that I took place in. So sometimes you got to take accountability on the situation that you was in. So that's what I'm learning, whether you know it or not. So that's what I'm learning as well.
Something you said made me think, like when you said that relationship was really painful coming out of it, and I think you said something about you got on the apps and you were meeting people on the apps. Did I hear that right?
Correct.
So I think that's a problem in our community too. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in a straight community. I'm not saying that. We're talking about conditions for our community. And I think what happens is we come out of a situationship or a relationship, and then we go right to the club, or we go right to one of the apps, instead of really taking the time to heal that trauma, to really sit in that pain of that disappointment or whatever. Quick story. I remember many years ago, it was a let out of a club, and I was leaving out of a club, and there was a guy in the club, and I thought he was so attractive. And when the club let out, I walked over to him and I introduced myself. I told him who I was, and I said, I just told him my name, and I said, can I get your number? Da 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 da. And he smiled. He looked at me, and I could tell he considered for a brief moment to give me his number. But what he said to me instead was, I'm really just trying to heal right now. And when I tell you that I had so much respect for him, it changed my life. And it changed the way that I did things when I knew I wasn't completely healed from a relationship or a situationship. I'm not a person that jumps right into something new right away. You know what I'm saying? And so that was such a good example. And I think a lot of times we try to fuck away the pain, because there are a lot of people who will tell you, the best way to get over someone is to get up under somebody else. That is the most dysfunctional shit I've ever heard.
That's how I was told.
And heal.
Yeah, that's how I was told too. I was told the exact same way, and it was very intoxicating, because when you sitting there and having sex with multiple people and things like that, that's soul time, and it's very intoxicating within your spirit. So and then start making like you really making bad, those decisions. It can backfire on you.
Well, you end up making poor decisions out of loneliness. Is what happens.
Now,
Exactly.
Ali, do you want to be in another relationship, Ali?
Yes, but not right now.
Okay. So right now, so you're making a conscious choice to be single right now.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
My last question for you: are you clear about what you want when you do get into a relationship, or are you still trying to put that together?
I'm kind of clear what I want, but I am putting that together as well.
So that means no, you're not clear.
It's kind of Nubian.
You can't be kind of clear. You got to be clear, not clear. So you're not clear yet, but you're working on it.
Okay, I'm working on it.
Right. Okay, thank you, Ollie. We're gonna drop you down, but we're gonna bring you right back up at the end. Okay.
All right.
You can see, Craig. You get rid of live. We talk about relationships, Sunday. This is your space.
Listen, they don't call me Gayala Van Zandt for nothing.
Who call you that?
That would be me calling myself.
Oh, okay. Oh, do they call you that? Oh, okay.
No, they don't. That's just something I call myself, Gayala Van Zandt.
Okay, so we about to bring in Willie.
Yes.
Hey, Willie. You gotta you gotta unmute yourself.
Willie, we need you. He's
so I can't hear myself, so we can hear each other.
Look, Willie, yeah, that's what I'm.
So we can hear each other.
How are you? So first of all, how old are you, Willie?
I'm 31.
And where are you from? Where you reside?
I'm in Atlanta right now.
Oh, okay, you live in Atlanta. Oh, okay. So we talk about dating in Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, dating in Atlanta.
Okay. Why do you think that well, how long have you been single?
I've been single all my life. Actually, like I never had a relationship because of my upbringing, because of my living situation. Like where I grew up in Texas, it's a small town, so we didn't have any way of expressing how we feel. We couldn't talk about being gay where I'm from. It was it's a whole taboo. Like I'm just getting comfortable being able to say it now that, hey, I'm gay. I'm a gay man. You know, living in my truth. In the last couple of years, it's being able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Now, would you like to be in a relationship at some point?
Yeah, but it's gonna take someone like, see, I'm an old school, like I'm real old school to where, like, in my mind, I'm waiting for that young man to come up and be like, hey boy, like I choose you, like come on with me, like take me out of my arms, scoop me up like the damsel in distress or something. You know, I'm looking for the fairy tale in the book, but I'm a man.
So you're looking for a fantasy, Willie.
It's a fantasy that I live out, but I have high hopes that I'm gonna find my right gentleman that's gonna come up and say, yes, it's time. You're the one that I want. And if it doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant for me. It wasn't meant.
Well, so a question for you, Willie.
It wasn't meant. It just wasn't meant.
This is a good another example of what happens in the gay world, of gay dating. Because I was a part of that part too. But the thing is that we have, at some point, we got to realize what is reality and what is fantasy. And the question is like, when you're able to really step into what reality is, you understand it ain't gonna work that way. And it don't work that way, and it doesn't look like that, especially for.
Now, why my man not gonna come scoop me up, Derek? Why my man not gonna come tell me, hey, baby, you the one. I want you just the way you are. You don't have to change the way you are. You don't have to do nothing. I want you just the way you are. Why I'm not gonna have my man to come tell me that?
Well, that conversation and then what you described before is two different things. That conversation.
I'm sorry, I explained it right.
Yeah, that conversation. Yeah, that conversation you just had is an adult conversation that can happen. The damsel in distress being saved by her prince on a horse. That's the story that you explained first. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That ain't gonna happen.
When I get my career together, and everything like that, girl, I'm gonna have my ranch and girl, I'm gonna be on the horse, honey. He gonna come up on my ranch and take me. He gonna say, baby, come on with it.
Go ahead, Craig.
But see, this is what I was just saying a moment ago. I think so many of us who have a dream or have a career in place, so many think that love waits for us to organize our lives. Love doesn't wait for you to get your ranch. Love is not going to wait for you to get your PhD. Like, my thing is, you need to seize the moment. Like, when it happens, like, I think a lot of times people try to offset it and say, well, no, I'm going to wait until this happens, or I need to have this kind of money saved. I need to own my own house first. Like, and then by the time you sit and organize all of that stuff, you later in life, and you didn't pass so many opportunities, or so many opportunities have passed by you, because you think that it's supposed to come in this perfect formula or this perfect package, or it's supposed to come when you want it to. That's just not how it works.
Now, are you dating?
Yeah, that's how am I dating?
I said, are you dating?
I don't like the social media. I don't like the social
Are you dating?
media really there. Am I dating? Yeah, I'm dating. I'm dating right now. Like, if you would call it dating, I guess. What you call dating? What would you guys call dating?
Well, if you're not in a relationship and you're talking to a man,
I am closed off. Like, I am sheltered, so I don't know what y'all term of dating is. You tell me. What's dating?
Well, what do you mean? I mean, is date like? Do you talk to people? Do you have men that you talk to? Do you go out on dates with people, or do you just?
No, I talk to somebody. Like, that's what I'm saying. I talk to somebody. Like, I talk to somebody that I'm interested in. But the men that I'm interested in, they have their own DL life, or they have their own alter egos that they have going on with each other. So they never settle on me. They never choose me and say, hey, I want you. But I'm here.
Gotcha. So I'm trying to understand the situation now.
There, men, with we are men. Like, we are men. Like, we're programmed. Our DNA is programmed to go fast. Like, we need to be stimulated at all times. If we're not stimulated, we get sidetracked very easily.
Mm-hmm.
If we're not stimulated.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna say that I don't get sidetracked either when it comes to opportunities or temptation that comes my way. It's hard for me not to go for the temptation as well.
Gotcha. So you are dating, but you date DL men. And is it?
So now we're getting closer to the issue. So you're saying that you generally gravitate towards men that are closeted or DL or whatever, and you sometimes are easily distracted. Okay.
I'm gravitated to down low men. If they be like down, I guess they're down low men. They're not open like me and you. And like, okay, say for instance, like the way I look at men, Craig the writer, you're the type of man that I'll be attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
We're not DL, sweetie.
I want a man. But see, Craig the writer would be attracted to a more like in my perception, he would be more attracted to you. He would be more attracted to you, Derek J. You show your feminine, your femininity. You show your girl. You see the fact that I'm.
You don't think you know?
I'm feminine. I confuse the boys. Like they say I confuse y'all. They say I confuse the family. They say I confuse y'all because I still dress like a guy, but I'm feminine. And it's hard out in this dating world.
Willie, you done came up here just like you said, this is a whole separate show. You a whole nother show on your own, Willie.
Well, thank you. I'll take that.
I will say this. But like we said earlier in the conversation, but
it starts with acceptance.
You said what?
It all starts with acceptance, though, and your self-esteem. Like, I had to build my self-esteem to accept being gay before I could even accept a relationship with anybody. Before I could even say, hey, I like you, man, and I want to be with you. It took a long time before I was able to speak those words.
Mm-hmm. So you got to do some working on yourself before you can get into a relationship.
I had to, but the other person had to do work too, though. Like they got to do their work too. Like,
Well, see, but the problem is, the problem in your case is that, but the problem in your case is that you're going after men that don't want to be with a man. So they can't do the work. They gotta be bisexual. They gotta be bisexual. Dig now,
right. If not dead.
When I say be with, but it's a difference between be with and sleeping with. They can sleep with a man all day long. If that's you want to be, if you want to be that person for them, that's fine. But they don't want to be in a relationship with you, and that's a part that you got to understand. You know, and you have to start looking for someone that wants to be in a relationship with you. You know, they like the illusion of what all that gives, but at the end of the day, they're gonna go back home to their wife or girlfriend and everything else. They just have you there to be their toy to play with for the moment.
And just to piggyback off of what you and Derek said, I think another thing that happens a lot in the community is we act on the feelings before we deal with the psychology behind the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, a lot of times, you know, the gays will be messing around, sucking dick, fucking around at 14, 15, 16, 17, but you haven't even really given yourself permission up here to be okay having the feelings. You haven't even given yourself permission to have those feelings for another man, but you out here sucking and fucking and fingering and doing all this other stuff. And so a lot of times we do shit in the reverse. And then after you are already out there messing around, having sexual exchanges and things, then you start doing the mental work. Like, oh, is this okay? It's like we do it backwards. And so a lot of times, you know, I've seen people get into relationships with guys, gay men get into relationships with guys who are still struggling with their sexuality up here. Just because you go to gay pride events, just because you go to gay parties, gay clubs, you got gay friends, just because you've told your family and your coworkers that you're gay, doesn't mean you've given yourself permission to have the feelings that you have. Mm-hmm. There's so many people who move in the gay community who still are struggling with who they are.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know. They don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. They can't accept who they are.
But Kevin, you just not. I mean, Willie, you just not accepting yourself, sweetheart. You just start loving yourself.
That's the whole beauty of it, Dig. That's the whole beauty of it. I'm so glad, and like it's such a freeing thing too. Like it's so empowering to be able to accept yourself and to be able to say that. Like it's and I'm 30. It's like almost the perfect time, and I'm so glad y'all came up with this over 30 platform. You guys like y'all, Derek. Your courage, like it breaks volumes. And Craig the writer, you're such an inspiration. Like both of y'all, you guys, like both of you, man, like help me to be able to sit comfortable in a seat and say, yes, well, I'm gonna find me a relationship, you know?
Yeah.
And that's blooming. I got a little flower, I got a little plant. It's blooming. You guys, y'all just be patient with it, baby.
Right. I mean, my thing to you and to everybody that's listening, be focused on what you want. Be clear about what you want and believe that you can have it. Because I'm a big believer that whatever you're looking for is also looking for you. So whatever kind of relationship you believe you can have, there's somebody out there who wants that same kind of relationship. And I really do believe in energy. What you put out, it has to come back to you. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out, it has to come back.
Well, thank you. Well, we're gonna drop you back down because we got one last question we're gonna ask all you guys. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And so you know what, Craig, what you just said last is a great last question for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it that you're looking for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, are we clear about that? Like, are we clear on what it is that you want in a relationship, if that is the case?
Right.
I think that's a good round off question that we can have.
And everybody is not interested in a relationship. I want to be clear to say too, because I saw a comment where somebody was saying, you know, you guys are making it seem like, you know, being in a relationship is the end all be all. No, it's not.
Yeah. I've never been in a relationship. I have dated. I have never been in a relationship. Do I feel that I've missed out on anything or had any that my life has been less than without being in a relationship? No, I don't. I actually I have a very healthy life, I think. I have great friends that fill in for that space of a relationship that I would have. Would I like to have one? Probably, yeah, at some point. Is it something that I'm focused on right now? No, it's not. But if it comes my way, great. You know, the only reason I would get in a relationship now is because, you know, I have friends that are in a relationship, i.e. Craig, my friend Tony, and, you know, they all do things as couples, and I don't get invited. So that's the only reason why I would get into a relationship right now, so I can go hang out with my friends, because I can't hang out with them when they're on their dates. So
oh my God.
That's the only reason I will get into a relationship right now. And as far as, and I can answer that question myself, as far as what I feel that I may be looking for in a man, I don't really know yet, because that's not nothing I put thought into, me personally. Nothing I really put thought into as far as what I would like to see in a man. But I would just like somebody that can match my same energy, I guess, at the end of the day.
But I think just like you are very clear about your career, and those of you that are watching, some of you are very clear about your career and your goals, your aspirations. You have to be just as intentional in the kind of relationship that you want, and the kind of person that you want to usher into your life. But you have to put that same energy that you put in to your career and your education or whatever it is.
So that's right. Because I see Kevin just popped in because he asked how you can get into this conversation. So let's round off with the people that we have here. Then we're gonna bring Kevin up. Okay. So I know we asked Ali this question already, but Ali, we're gonna give you time to think about it. We're gonna come to you last. But let's go start over here. Welcome back, because you've been in and out.
Yes, I've been having so much issues with can y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, good.
So our roundabout question for you is that, one, do you want to be in a relationship?
Yes.
And are you clear about what you want in a relationship? And if so, what is that from your partner?
I think I'm still trying to figure all of it out, but I know that the things I've dealt with, because Craig said something earlier that triggered me about being teachable. And one of the things is, I'm fine with that, but how are you teaching me? How are you talking and communicating to me? Because that's been one of my issues in the past, because I'm a very strong bottom, and I'm not one of these girls that's gonna back down and you gonna say, well, what the fuck, blah, who are you cursing at? Like,
but no, even when it's presented to you in a tactful way, because again, this is the partner that you've chosen. So you should respect your partner enough to be able to say, well, babe, you know, I think you could have handled that differently. You know, I don't like the way that you said this, that, and the third. And I don't mean the things that are internal to the relationship. I mean the way that you may have handled something with your family or at your job. Your partner is there to kind of like help you reevaluate and see yourself in a, you know what I'm saying? And so but this is the person that you've chosen. So you have to trust that you've made a good choice, because being in a relationship, this is one of the things that I realized. I needed to choose someone whose judgment I trusted. It's not just about, because I know if you have good judgment, then you'll make good choices and decisions in our relationship and for our relationship. So trust became really big for me. I literally started writing down things that were important to me. Integrity, trust, you know what I'm saying? All of that kind of stuff. You got to figure out what's important to you and what you want to manifest in your relationship. And even if it means writing it on a vision board. I mean, I really do believe in all of that. You have to see it.
Yeah, that's something I still need to do. That's definitely something I still need to do, for sure. But I know I need communication, honesty, and trust. I definitely know I need that.
Right. And there are things that are going to show up in the relationship. Like there are things that I worked on before I got into a relationship, and I thought I was a master at these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got into the relationship, there were things that surfaced. It was like, oh well, shit, you still got work to do. There are things there are lessons that are going to surface when you're actually in the relationship that you still need to.
Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Hopefully you were able to take some things away from it.
Yes, I always take the things away from you guys. I want to thank both of you. I watch y'all all the time. So I just want to thank y'all for this opportunity. And I love y'all. Catch y'all later.
Thank you so much, man. All right. Taurus. So, well, so what do you want to be in a relationship? And if so, do you know what you're looking for in your partner?
Yeah, I mean, I'm open to a partnership slash relationship because at this stage in life, it's a partnership. And Craig said it best to his point, somebody who is grounded in who they are, this notion of self-identity, and somebody who has been introspective and they know how they show up and they're comfortable in their own skin is the person that I see myself with, because to Craig's point, they're making good decisions for themselves, which means that it's going to transfer off onto me. And somebody I can trust, and I can trust my heart and time with. So those are the qualities and characteristics that I look for that have to shine through. Everything else is negotiable because everything else will evolve and fall in place. So you can do all the work you want, but like Craig said, when you get into a relationship, stuff is going to come up that you thought you work through, but you have to evolve and work through it with somebody else being there.
Yeah. Taurus, thank you so much for enlightening us with and during this conversation. We appreciate you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Torrance.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. And I think what happened, I'm just gonna say this quick little thing. I think people only look at relationships as this place that we go to have fun.
Right.
But no, that's where the work begins. When you get into a relationship, that's where the work begins.
Trav.
Yes.
So, do you want to be in a relationship? And if so, do you know what you're looking for in your partner?
I don't think I'm ready yet.
Okay.
It's going to take some healing, of course, some therapy. But I think I'm going to have to just really search and figure out what I want for me first. And then when that time comes, I'll know what I need to look for in a partner.
That is the first step of doing that. Is recognizing like the part that you play in it, and recognize what you need to work on, be able to get to the next step.
And what does that work look like for you? You chuckled when you said therapy, but are you serious about? Because I believe in therapy.
Yes, I actually am in therapy.
Okay.
Now I actually need to start back being serious about it, but I am.
Well, Trav, thank you so much for being part of this.
Thank y'all so much, and thank y'all for being such an inspiration too. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your story with us too.
Yeah.
Take care, y'all.
All righty. So we'll be back in February. I know we got a couple more people to talk to, but I just want to remind you guys, we will be back in February. It's that first Wednesday in February. I believe it's February 4th. But, of course, we'll give you guys a heads up when we're coming back. No, it's February 3rd. It'll be February 3rd that we're going to return.
Ali. So we know you said you're not ready for a relationship yet, and you're working on it. But I know you're not ready for it yet. But do you see having a relationship in the future?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
And you working on figuring out what you need.
Well, just to listen to this episode right here, the highlight that inspires me when I'm ready for looking for a relationship is the one thing is integrity. Integrity is very important to me in a relationship, because prior to the other relationship I had, it's like my fear is I don't want to work on a relationship by myself. I'm the type of person, I love hard, and I just don't want to be working on it. I just don't want to be alone when I'm in a relationship. So one of the highlights that I can say when I'm ready to look for a relationship is very integrity. Someone who has similar goals as well as me. So that's the thing I'm looking for.
All right.
Someone who love life. And by the way, Craig, I did post your book on my IG. So
I
if you want to
appreciate
follow
that.
me, so if you want to follow me, it's on. That's
Okay.
my IG.
I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Ali.
No problem. Y'all take care.
You too.
You too. And you know, something he said is really important. You have to trust. You have to trust that you can make a better choice. You know, there was a period in my life when I was single too, where I was afraid to trust my judgment because of previous mistakes or relationships that I had gotten myself into.
Mhm.
But you know, you have to trust after you've taken the time to kind of heal and reconcile. You have to trust that you can make a better choice the next time around.
Mhm.
Choose better.
So last but not least, we got Willie over here, child. Same poor Willie back there. Okay, Willie.
Oh, let me clutch my pearls. Let me clutch my pearls.
So, now, are you ready to be into? Do you want to be in a relationship?
Hell yeah, I'm single, Derek. Yeah, I'm waiting for a relationship, Derek. I want a relationship.
And do you know what you're looking for in a partner?
I know what the feeling I'm looking for. The feeling that I'm looking for is just like it's unexplainable, but I know exactly what I'm looking to feel. Like what I want to feel like. And my brother gave me the perfect example of it, like what I want my man to treat me like. So yeah. And then I got a few suspects. They doing good. They doing good.
Well, thank you so much, Willie.
Willie, how many prospects do you have?
Well, he called them suspects. So
I know. He meant prospects.
My eyes is always open, Craig. My eyes is always open. They always open.
People want to know what your IG is, Willie.
My IG? My IG, oh Lord. Like, I gotta even look on there. Like I think it's Will Pick Ray.
Oh, Drew, type it in the comment, child. Let people know what because they're looking for you, child. Okay. But thank you. I'm gonna drop you back down, but thank you so much for being part of this.
But look me up on the go to Willie Ray on Facebook. Willie Ray, you can look me up on Willie Ray on Facebook.
Okay.
But it's Will Pick Ray on Instagram.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
So we did have Ken popped in here, but he popped. I guess we were taking too long. Well, okay. So a couple of things. Thank you guys for the people that sent over some donations for our Christmas thing. We need some more. We can't get much with that. So
how much came in?
I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh,
yes. So, but you guys, please support. We're giving back to our community. We're giving back to, we want to give back. We want to take care of help some people out for Christmas because we know it's been a hard time this year. So help us out with that, people. You know, when you give to us, we're going to match with everything that you guys give. Wow, really? I mean, what's your name, Craig? This is our last conversation.
This is our last conversation until February 3rd.
The February 3rd.
So listen, we're gonna miss you guys, but we definitely need this break. We've been doing this now for 8 months.
Yeah.
We started in May.
And it's now December.
And so I think somebody really made a good point. I think maybe the week before February 3rd, like that last Wednesday in January, maybe we can do a recap and of like some of our favorite shows that we did or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll be ready for you guys on February 3rd. We have already started compiling a list of different conversations that we want to do. If you guys want to email us some topic ideas, you can. The email is scrolling at the bottom right there.
Yeah. Convo@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm. So this is just going to give us time to. So Britt is saying, so no ladies. Are we opening this up to heterosexual, or are we still going to stay?
No, we're gonna open it up to the ladies. We're gonna open it up. We're gonna give y'all one situation. We give y'all one conversation. So y'all better be ready when we put it out there. Y'all better be ready for it.
And we don't hear no shit about you ain't got your lashes on, you ain't got your hair, you don't want to be on camera, and this, that, and the third. Y'all been asking us, y'all been terrorizing us about being a part of this conversation. So make sure y'all ready. But you know, we have some stuff in store for you. Like we're gonna start branding this Gay Like Me conversation podcast that we're doing.
Oh, baby, when we come back next season, baby, is on. Oh, Ricardo, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ricardo. Yeah. When we come back, it's gonna be on, but we got some stuff for y'all for February. So
yes, we do.
Where all of y'all support has came in, paid it. As y'all can see, I see y'all saw and talk about my camera today. Yes, y'all support is helping us step our game up so we can give y'all show quality stuff.
Right. Yes, indeed. Like Derek, listen, spend some money on these cameras and lighting.
So,
you know, I got Oliver over here working on some shit for us. So listen, we need your help. We need your help until some major platform picks us up.
Mm-hmm.
But listen, you guys have an amazing Christmas holiday, an amazing New Year, a safe New Year. Be safe. Take care of yourself. And one of the things that I say to people all the time, a part of taking care of yourself is telling people what you need. So if there's someone in your life, family, co-workers, partner, and you're not telling them what you need, then you're not doing a good job of taking care of yourself. So a part of taking care of yourself is telling people what you need. So start speaking up in 2021.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and y'all have a good night.
All right. You guys have an amazing night. Thank you so very much for the donations. We appreciate you guys.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye.